Hello and welcome, my fellow followers of Chaos, to another Total War campaign focus. The series where I play the first few years of a Total War campaign and tell you my I tell you my thoughts and opinions on the campaign, and I also show you what to expect in the beginning and show off the uniqueness of the factions. So today we are starting the Norsemen culture. In this episode, the Geats, as you see on the screen before you. And you may be wondering, what the hell, why does he look so different? Well, I'm using all of the reskin packs by Agrez because a lot of the units in Europe look the same. So it's actually changed the faction leaders and units of basically everybody except for the Huns. So there's the Eastern Roman Empire Emperor. They just make everybody look so much cooler. All the migrators look awesome. I really like what they did with the Langobards one. They just all look so much better. Honestly. Well, this one's Vercingetorix from Arena. That's interesting. But anyway, back to the Geats. So, you start in... now, I'm probably going to get this wrong. Is this Sweden? Is Norway here and Sweden up here? Or is it the other way around? I don't know. I think it's Sweden. So I think you're Swedes. So, yeah. Your faction leader is Dag. That's this wonderful gentleman right here. Your Germanic pagans, of course. And here's a little bit of a story about him. Now, being from the Norsemen culture, you get the cultural trait Viking Raiders, and that gives you plus 75% from sacking, looting, and raiding. So you definitely want to raid, of course, as the Viking factions. That's just obvious. They also get the unique faction trait of Cold Blood, plus 10 morale when fighting during the winter, and immune to snow attrition. So being up in Europe, that's probably the most worthwhile trait you can have. Because as you get later in the campaign, which sadly I'm not going to be able to show off in this video, everything just starts freezing over in Europe basically because of the changing weather and stuff. So having that gives you the biggest boost you could ever imagine. Their initial challenge is normal because they have a few options. They're not really stressed by anybody, and they have a few options of expansion. They could sail to Britain. They could take the Danish islands, sail over to the other parts of Germany and stuff. And yeah, let's look at their minor victory conditions. Survive until 425. Control 30 settlements. That's actually less than some of the other ones. You only need to control this one province. Loot or sack 4 settlements. Research 10 technologies. Earn the following income from raiding 5,000. Maintain 60 units. Maintain 20 naval units. So yeah, that's everything on the Grand Campaign choosing the faction page. I don't know. Let's get right into the campaign, guys. Okay, so welcome everybody to the beginning of the Geatai? I think the plural is Geatai. Gieti? Whatever. I've heard them pronounced as Geat, so that's what I'm going to say. Welcome to the beginning of the Geat campaign. As you can see, you actually start off with a nice bit of forces. Starting with your king, or whatever his rank would be. You got Dag. So he's leading a army of 10 units of pretty mediocre units, of course. The Nordic Warlord is a good unit. Actually, they have good health. Decent morale, it seems. They don't have much melee defense. And they have a lot of damage, though. But hardly any attack. Interesting. It's actually been a while since I've seen anything in the Europe, so I'm please excuse that. You got some Nordic levies. Nordic band, which are basically fodder. Look at those stats. They're not the best. They do have javelin precursors though, so that's nice. That goes for them good. And the 3 units Nordic bows. Your heir, which I assume is your son, is another Nordic warlord, and he has the exact same army. So that's pretty interesting. And then you also have a navy with a light assault ship, the Drekar Dragon ship. Oh, that's interesting. Snecka longships and Norse bow marauder ships. So you have a few options here. Let's look at their diplomatic situation. You start off at war with no one. You start off trading with the Rugians, which is pretty nice. The Danes aren't really a fan of you. The Picts hate you. And the Western Romans hate you, of course, as well, because the Romans hate everybody. The Jutes like you a lot, so they can actually start off as your one of your main friends, of course, with the Rugians, too. The Saxons like you. Basically, most of the Scandinavian / German factions like you, other than the Danes. And the Danes will be your first target, pretty much. That's who I'm going to go for. So yeah, let's take a look at their technologies. Pretty standard for barbarians. I think most of the barbarians have the exact same tech trees. So I mean, like, this is obviously just all for pretty much melee infantry and archers. Here's a few ship things. So yeah, I can't really go through every technology and tell you what it is, so that's just showing you what it looks like. And yeah, that's basically it for the beginning. Of course, we start off, this is one of the things that everybody likes about the Geats, is that out of the 3 Norsemen factions, they start off with the capital of Skansa, so you definitely have a better start than the other 2, especially the Danes. They have the short end of the stick. So you start off with a burg, military jetties, farmstead, and an artisan with a free undeveloped land spot that you can, of course, work on. So yeah, I'm going to get a bit further into this campaign, guys, and I'll see you then. Hey guys, welcome to the siege of whatever the Danish settlement is. I thought I'd just show you guys, in case you haven't seen the units for the Norsemen. I'll just show you what they look like. Well, actually, these are going to be the modded units, but you get the idea. So here's our Nordic levy. This is literally just people raised from villages. As you can see, there's women in amongst them with the men. I love these retextured units. They look amazing. Here we have Nordic band. This is our first sword unit. It's basically just a sword levy. They have a little bit of armor, some of them. We have our Nordic bows. They're basically exactly the same as any other archer unit. Nordic hurlers. And that's it. We have some mercenary units, but I don't really need to show you guys them. And this is what our general units are like. Your typical heavily armored early stage unit. So they're a sword unit. That's why they don't have... Actually, it doesn't really explain why they have a low attack but very high damage. Base damage. Okay, so they do a lot of damage, but like no armor piercing. So definitely good for doing some damage on a charge or something. But they're definitely not the best fighters in the world. But yeah, I just want to show you guys some of the units. Yeah, we're about to take the Danish settlement, and that'll be one of our first major accomplishments in this campaign. But anyway, I'll see you in a little bit when we've gotten a bit farther. Hey everybody! So we've finally reached the end of our journey with the Geats. What have we done? Well, I can show you exactly the movements I took. From the beginning, I took my navy and sailed it over here, and they're still there, keeping the peace in this province. Then I took both armies and marched them down here, and after that, marched both of them across. Well, I guess they must have sailed through. We besieged Hafen, took that, kept my ships there, like I said, to keep the peace, and they've been doing that pretty well. Both armies then jumped across these islands, started raiding in Alibu, and then took that, sending the Jutes running to England, where they still currently are, I'm pretty sure. Then both of those armies ditched there, started sailing from here, landed here, sacked and razed this, went up here, sacked and razed that, came down here, sacked. And then we were like, screw Britain, that sucks. The Jutes are still here, besieging stuff. I got peace with them for some money. Then we went across the English Channel, razed and sacked this, and then we finally settled in Normandy. And I mean, that's a lot in 5 years. This is literally the turn that Attila was born. And that's a lot. And I mean, like, we're doing pretty well for ourselves. And I mean, like, very easily, I could probably cross this border and take another settlement. Woohoo. Auto-resolve. Look at that. Another quick one. This has already been sacked recently, which kind of sucks. But I mean, like, no problem. The Norsemen and the Germanic factions in general have such an easy start. I mean, look at my diplomacy. Pretty much all green. Everybody likes me except for the Roman factions. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. But yeah, hopefully, if you planned on playing as the Geats sometime, this showed you something interesting that you'd like to do about them, because they have a very nice start. They're the strongest of the 3 Norsemen factions by far. Easily, I took out the other 2 in 2 turns. I besieged this one turn, moved them over here, took that the next turn. No problem. Starting as the other 2, it would be much harder because then you'd have to face a walled settlement if you were planning on taking this yourself, which you probably should, because it gives you a very nice bonus early on controlling your own province. But yeah, guys, in closing, I would definitely recommend this campaign as it is very fun. The Norsemen factions are very fun. If a bit samey, yes. They all have the same units basically, but they're just fun. You don't need to focus so much on your empire and stuff. You can just go around raiding all over the map, and you can still win. Because I'm pretty sure, like, look at this. I already have a couple of my objectives done, and I haven't even done much. We almost have like 4 of them done, and this is only 5 years into the campaign. We still have 25 years until the minor victory. So I mean, like, they're just very fun factions. Expect these campaign focuses for the Norsemen to be very similar, but of course I will be doing 3 of them, 1 for each faction, just so it's a bit more unique, and that way we can see the real differences between the factions in the early game. But anyway, guys, this has been Overkill as always, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, goodbye.